with you. I already read this to her before, so she knows. Let's cheer for Mother.
Hey!
Daddy used to say that the first 100 years are the hardest. Is that right? The first 100 years are the hardest. Okay. We heard the mother wants to be older than the oldest living person who died recently at 113. So she wants another several years. That means she has a lot of life in her and probably a lot of the stubborn German that we inherited.
Germans are good.
Grandma Smalley said, Bessie's gonna live forever. Her life spans a incredible series of historic events and personal family events. She grew up in a family of 10 kids with one son. And how many of you are from Harvey's family?
Well, my husband is, yeah.
Okay. See, there's some around there. Okay. And then he had, they had 9 girls. 6 of them started with B. Bernice, Beulah, Bertha, Burl, Bessie, Blanche, and then, what? Beulah. Did I say Beulah?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last 3 names would have sounded funny if they started with B, because the next one was Ruby.
See if it does it again and lights up.
You
light
said
up. I can see
and then there was June and Dorothy.
the white end.
And June's in California. She would like to be here today, but she couldn't be here.
Only surviving.
Yeah, her only surviving sister. And then she had her own family of 5 kids. And look around at the kids around here. Daddy would say we started all this. And then we kind of went through the decades of her life. 1913 she was born, when Woodrow Wilson was president. Civil War vets were attending reunions. The 16th Amendment authorized what you all like, the federal income taxes. Yay! Charlie Chaplin began his film career, and the modern brassiere and the crossword puzzle were invented. She was off to a good start. Everything she needed, right? She likes crossword puzzles. In 1923, what?
No.
Not brassieres, they say.
She wears brassiere.
What about electricity?
When was that invented?
Well, it's been a lot sooner, but when did they have it on the farm?
I don't know.
I bet they didn't have it.
Do you know? Do you know?
In the 30s, she had electricity.
It'd been in the 40s.
In the 30s or 40s? Okay.
Yeah.
Not in 19.
Well, we're still in the 20s. Time magazine hit the newsstands in 1923. President Warren Harding died of a heart attack. Roy and Walt Disney began the Disney Company. Adolf Hitler was arrested for subversive activities. Gas cost less than 10 cents a gallon, but I don't think they had a family car. They had bobsleds that Grandpa would drive them to school in the bad weather from the farm. In the early 1900s, most people couldn't read or write, but they went to school, and Mother went through 4th grade, I think. She liked history and geography, so that's why I did a few fact-finding things. And she didn't like arithmetic and spelling. But Daddy loved arithmetic and spelling and hated geography and history, which proves what? That opposites attract. In 1933, after she was married, they lived in a little 4-room house in Totterville, Iowa, and Daddy worked for farmers. And then after he started working for Hormel, they moved into a Hormel house. And then they moved to this house, where she's lived for 72 years. Oh. I think that deserves another. Yeah. And in 1941, their house cost $3,500 without a garage. Boy, I wish we could find a house like that. Donna was born in 32, Donald in 34. Take a bow, Donna. Me, 38. Patty, 42. Betty didn't come this decade.
Oh.
Poor Betty.
Betty had to go the next.
During this decade, construction began on the Golden Gate Bridge. Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Franklin Roosevelt became president. Prohibition was repealed. Then on to 43, General Dwight Eisenhower became president in 53 in that decade. TV Guide was first published. Mount Everest was first summited. U.S. stamps cost 3 cents, and we had fresh milk delivery right to our door. We had a milkman. And then they had, the price of a house was $3,600 and gas was still 15 cents a gallon 20 years later. The first credit cards were diner cards. They were introduced in 1950. Betty was born during this decade.
Hey!
And their first grandchild, Linda, was born in 52.
Yay.
And then we only doted over Linda. Mother and Daddy encouraged us to be involved in all kinds of activities, and they were den parents to Donald's scout troop. And Mother was always at home, and she made mean lemon pie, as Patty says. And then she always made Sunday dinner with roast beef and so on. Potatoes, and that was our staples. Mother loved homemaking. She loved taking care of children. She first of all loved dolls when she was a child. She told me that she went hide in the attic to get away from her siblings with her dolls. Play with her dolls. Who wouldn't with 9 siblings? No. She enjoyed her Dynasty doll collection as an adult. Then in 53 to 63, we had five of their children's weddings in that decade. Donna and Laverne will be married 60 years next year. Donald and Marlis have been married 55 years. Patty and Larry and Betty and Dave, 50 years this year. And next year, Lee and I, 50 years. So, and then the oldest grandchild has been married 41 years, Linda. And other grandchildren have passed milestones in their marriages, 30 years. 26, 25, 22, 21, 19, 15. And then one of the great-grandchildren has been married 17 years.